Hi, welcome to the garden. Happy 4th of July. It's Tomato Trellis Tuesday. I was actually asked a question, how many tomatoes did I plant out here? Our cherry tomato here has reached the top of the trellis. I'm 6'4", standing on a bunch of mulch, so this one's quite tall. And these suckers will get out of hand. We just cut and drop. I believe we got a couple red ones starting. That is awesome. We're gonna have cherry tomatoes galore. Now any leaves that are touching the ground, let's clip those off. We did get a nice little rainstorm yesterday. We don't want these to get diseased, and see, we already got a little brown on that one. So just clean those up. And remember, air and sun are the best friends of your tomatoes. So on the green greens, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Sucker, sucker, sucker. So I planted this random tomato because it needed a spot. And I wanted to show you a cage versus a stake. It's big enough, we need to start trellising that. Just look at the amount of flowers that this pumpkin has going on. That is amazing. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop this on the inside of the ring down to the bottom ring. I'm gonna tie it off there. Then, just like the rest, I'm going to kind of move the tomato around, and now we got it supported. And if you remember, this was the very first one we planted. It was early and it was on an angle. Now that we've got a pretty straight line, we're going to go ahead and put these bigger ones in. I'm going to show you something really cool. Now this entire stem will root. And I got scolded because I thought every one of those little hairs would turn into roots, but there's little bumps on here. Those will turn into roots. Okay, so this one's pretty tall. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pinch off some of these lower leaves. Now when you pinch one off, you do not want to half do it and pull down on the stem. That'll damage it and it'll kill it. So either with sharp fingernails or a pair of scissors, you just pinch that off. And the cool thing is, you just let that go, it becomes part of the mulch. I think we're gonna do one more. Just pinch that off, and that leaves about 4 or 5 really nice leaves. So does that mean I'm gonna have to dig a hole that deep? Well, you can, or you can try this. Come on, let's plant. Okay, like we measured with our string, we want the tomato to come up basically in line with this pole. But it's good and long, and I don't really want to dig a great big deep hole, so I'm going to come off to the side, make sure you're out of the mulch, and I'm going to dig a pretty decent little hole on an angle. With that angle winding up right here in front of this pole. That's the way I like to do it. Now you can do it completely on their side and it'll be fine. I don't like to let the tomatoes get this big, but when they do, it's not all lost. And the reason I like it at an angle is because once we plant it, I don't want to bend this up and break it. Look at the roots on that. This guy needs a little drink of water. So you just set that in there. Come back in with your soil, kind of make sure that root ball's good and firm in there. And just kind of start burying the stem. And if you give it a little support as you come up that little angle, it's going to stand up pretty good. Just give it a little support as you put it in. And that's close enough to being in line. And that's how you plant a big tomato or a leggy tomato. Let's go ahead and get another one in. Yes, I'm going to put them this close together. because we're using the string trellis method, you can plant your tomatoes about 6 inches apart and there's no problem. We like to prune heavy. One of our contributors asked about rocks. I find rocks all the time. I just toss them off to the side. Quickly, just pinch these off, toss them off to the side. That's how fast you can do it. Not hurting the plant at all. Now if you have a way, kind of look at your plant, and if it wants to stand one direction, put it in that way. Get the root ball down, start planting along the stem, kind of stand it up, keep snugging it down. And there you go, tomato 2. And in this original line, and some of these got frosted a little bit, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm not just doing this every Tuesday. I am working on this every day when we come out. So I don't have to do a lot, but there's still some. It's amazing how fast they grow and then touch the ground, or how fast a sucker grows. Right here where you have a leaf, you got a sucker coming in right there at that crook. And we got a worm in here somewhere. Let me find him. Oh, there he is. Right there. Here's another telltale sign. These little pellets, this little grouping of pellets. So if you see the little pellets, before you see the leaf damage, you're sure you got a worm in here. So then off of this line, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And a pepper, which is doing really well. Then we had a flat that needed a place to go, so we kind of clustered these here at the end. And that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And moving across the garden, our sucker that we started and kind of put over here by the squash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And starting down the tomato tunnel, we got a few. Well, let's see what we got. Like I say, we've been going through this every day. This is just how fast these grow. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on down to the next set. 6, 7, 8, 9, there. We start down on this side. One, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 there. Now I hope you've been keeping total because I kind of lost count. 7, 8. And they're starting to turn. 13 there. 7 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 more there. Thank you for stopping by on Tomato Trellis Tuesday. Now you don't need to plant a forest like I've done just to get a couple tomatoes. But if you plant more than one tomato plant, your chances go up that you're going to have more than one tomato. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about tomatoes, click that link right there and I'll meet you back in the garden. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the deep mulch, click that link right there and I'll meet you back in the garden. And on this 4th of July, be safe, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.